Suspected cartel gunman in Mexico fires shots at Border Patrol agents in Fronton, Texas. This all happened about 1 hour ago. Law enforcement tells Bill Mallusion it happened as cartel members tried to bring a group of illegal immigrants across the river. The agents fired back. No one on either side was hit. The group of illegal immigrants did not make it across the Red River. Now,
So you guys know what's about to happen, right? We're about to have a little mini war at the southern border. You see, Trump designated these cartels terrorist organizations. He placed that label on them for a reason. That reason being because he plans on, if need be, using military force against them. But not just that. This also opens up the possibility of military strikes on cartel locations within Mexico, which would be some really wild stuff. I know that the leaders in Mexico are opposed to that. I don't know what they could do to stop it, but I think we're going to witness little skirmishes and little mini battles or something. Listen, I don't know how much force we're going to be willing to use against the cartels at first. So I don't assume that we're going to just start airstriking them and stuff. But, we got the military already there and on the way. Okay? We're sending the military for a reason. And, before many of these, before most of these military service members have arrived at the border, we already got skirmishes happening between Border Patrol and the cartels. Now, the cartels, they've been preparing for this. They were well aware that Trump may win the election, and best believe they were well aware that Trump was going to be tougher on the southern border. They follow up with that stuff more than we do, okay? That's kind of their job, to smuggle people and smuggle drugs over here. So definitely, best believe they're paying attention and they've been preparing. I know that they've been digging more tunnels. You see, under Joe Biden, they didn't have to use the tunnels anymore. They just walk them straight across. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. It's not that easy anymore under Trump. So they've already been digging the tunnels, okay? They're under there like little groundhogs, you better believe it. But not just that. They've also, from what I've heard and what I've seen, they've been planting landmines in certain areas. You got to understand, folks, now, the cartel definitely can't stand up to the full might of the U.S. military. But like I said, we don't know how much force and how much might, we're going to be using against the cartel. I'm assuming that we're not going to come down hard on the cartel like we would an army. But hey, I don't know. You never know these days. But I will say that the cartel it's more well-equipped than people would think. It's definitely more well-equipped than people would think. I would say that the cartel is probably better equipped than a lot of the tribes and militias and stuff that we fight over in the Middle East. The cartels have submarines, all type of stuff. Nothing that could stand up against the full might of the U.S. military. But once again, I don't know how much, are they going to authorize that much force? So I think that there's a reality here that in the near future, we're going to see skirmishes and little battles. Who knows? We might see strikes on cartel targets. But for right now, I want to go ahead and roll this little news clip so you can see a little bit more about what happened today, because the fighting is already starting. And then after the clip, I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Just across the river, yards from U.S. soil, cartel gunmen stroll along the riverbank, armed with rifles. They control the border in Mexico. Some aim AK-47s at Texas DPS helicopters. Others go to war with each other, with Texas DPS thermal drone video showing cartels throwing explosives at each other during a battle for control of the area.
All the activity that's been happening, all the violence that's been taking place right across the river within several hundred yards from where we're at right now.
Texas DPS's Lieutenant Chris Olivares tells Fox in October, Texas had enough. The state declared Fronton Island Texas property and began bulldozing it. All of it. Brush was cleared, razor wire was deployed, and the area was fortified. This is what it looks like now. A 171-acre barren landscape now secured by Texas, with Texas troopers on patrol and Texas National Guard soldiers deployed with loaded weapons. This is one of the cartel buildings directly across the river from us in Mexico. You can see cartel graffiti on it as well as bullet holes riddling it. Here on the U.S. side of the river, you can see what Texas has done with Fronton Island. They have completely cleared it out. They've deployed razor wire, and there is now nowhere for these cartel gunmen to hide if they want to cross here illegally.
These cartel operatives have no fear of the federal government because they know there's no consequences, and the fact that they have allowed the Mexican drug cartels to gain operational control of the border. That's why the state of Texas is stepping in so we can regain operational control.
In Fronton, Texas, Bill Malugin, Fox News.
Well, if you ask me, this is going to end either one of two ways. Either the cartel is going to get the hint. They're going to be looking across the river. They're going to be looking across that little patch, that little dry area, and they're going to be seeing the military build up on the border, and they'll get the hint and they'll lay low, kind of calm down and dial it back for a couple of years. I'm not saying they won't still try to get people over here. I'm not saying they won't still get stuff over the border. Of course they will. But they'll dial back the operations. Either that's going to happen, or the cartel is going to let pride get in their way. They're going to let their egos get in their way. They're going to puff out their chest, and they're going to F around and find out. And I think that's very likely. The fact that all of this is already going on, Trump's already president, and the military is already en route, and some of the military is already there, and the cartel is still bold enough to be firing shots at Border Patrol, I mean, that's not a good sign. And when I say that's not a good sign, yeah, I'm worried for the safety of our military and our Border Patrol. But when I say it's not a good sign, I don't think we have to worry about our people as much as they have to worry about theirs. Because I don't think Trump's playing around. If any president in history would be willing to do something, out of the ordinary, like airstrike the cartel in Mexico, it would be Trump. And I think that if we see a few violent acts, we're not far from the military rolling into Mexico and at the very least taking out some of these little bases and these little hideouts that are right there on the border. Maybe not deep within Mexico, but come on, you got the cartel station at one of their headquarter buildings right across the freaking river kind of glaring at you. I wouldn't be surprised if they freaking knock that thing to the ground. But we'll have to wait and see. Things could play out in multiple different ways, like I said. For now, though, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.